Yeah.
Welcome to Tangent Podcast.
This is our second take of this episode, and you will probably never hear the first one unless, I don't know, we might put it as a Patreon goal if you want to hear a shit episode that...
I think that's worse.
Yeah, honestly, it's not really much to get because I had my fan going in the back because it was really hot that night. But my fan was going the whole time, and apparently I bumped my head into the mic a few times, which you might be wondering, why would you do that? Well, because we actually have, I have a webcam now, and I did not before, so we can actually see each other in the cameras and such, so it's a bit more natural talking, even though my camera is oriented really terribly. So like 50% of the screen is like dead space above my head. But I mean, I'm not too good with camera.
You don't have to really worry about it. I can see whatever. You. I mean,
yeah, it's good enough. Anyways, but this is our second attempt at recording this. We're not going to cover everything we covered before.
Yeah, because it will get stale. We got to keep it fresh every day.
Yeah, and plus one of our topics would be outdated.
Yeah,
we talked about Article 13, and that was like a day before it was passed. So I think we should jump right into that because. You know how in the previous episode I said how if Article 13 passed, it would be one of the nails in the coffin of the internet, and I think I'm still right about that.
You know, this hurts because the thing about Article 13 is just it's bad for everyone, not just bad for internet companies, which obviously that's what they're going for. I mean, they're trying to get Google and YouTube for taking all that free content by pulling the feed and not giving us any cut of that free RSS money. That's not fair. We got to do something about it. And yet, I don't think the people who made this entire,
I don't think they're internet literate.
I don't think they understand the internet at all. And because of that, it makes me even more upset that this even passed in the first place. But you know what? Whatever, I guess. It's just so frustrating, because it's going to mess up for us. Like, if you're just like, regular guy like me and you're going on the internet, like whatever, what does this matter to you? The biggest thing this matters to you is because anytime you're like listening to, or not listening, let's just say you're watching or reading anything from Wired or The Telegraph or, The Economist, I think they're a UK based one, you basically are going to get either, double tax on, like, you're probably going to be restricted from those services in your normal Google feed. And on top of that, it's just going to make it actually illegal in some part for you to share that content. Because the thing about the internet is that there's no borders. So if you do something on one end of the globe, then it has repercussions throughout the entire world. And to prove that, look at GDPR, why everyone was getting, mail in their... It was spamming in their inbox about only 9 months ago. Why everyone said, "Oh, we're updating to GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation." And I'll say, look, was it a good thing? Like, in all fairness, GDPR was actually in many ways pretty good because it allowed you to have more access to your own data, which is good. But also, when I looked at it, it was like, this is really setting a precedent that we can change the internet from our side of the globe to another. So the fact that Europe is like kind of forcing everyone to just fall by their rules is just so...
I mean, because there's not like a European internet. Like there's one internet except in one place, which is China. But because China so heavily regulates their internet, and most companies exclude China from their like services because it'd be so hard to go through their filters and such to be able to work with the rest of websites. But now effectively there might be a European internet, a Chinese internet, and then an everywhere else internet, because like basically what Article 13 does, if you don't know, or if listeners don't know, for like, let's say you go on YouTube and you upload a MP3 of what was I listening to? Let's say you upload an MP3 of Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC. It's what I was listening to before we recorded the podcast. And you uploaded that, and you get a copyright strike from whatever music group owns the AC/DC music.
This makes sense.
They'd say, oh, this is ours. You should be able to upload this. Or if it's very popular, Like if you go look it up, there'll be ones with like millions of views and such. That probably is being monetized by the group that owns that music, just because it's easier that way, just to earn money off something that's already popular. But now, say you do that, the copyright claim won't go to you, it'll go to YouTube. And if you know anything about how companies work, they don't like to be sued.
So,
and, they basically have a few options. They have remove all copyrighted content from their sites to try to avoid suing, which would basically be
break the internet.
90% of things on their site. There would be the option of start some sort of filter, which would almost assuredly be run by bots, because there's so much content uploaded on every single site on the internet, especially popular ones like YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter. So much stuff uploaded at once that you need robots to deal with it. But then we get into the problem of if you introduce a filter, a robot can't tell what is satire, what is parody, what is a review, what is meant for educational purposes, fair use. They don't understand what that means. They'll see a picture of Mickey Mouse and go, bring it down. Disney's going to sue us. When it could be used in some educational video where Mickey Mouse teaches kids like how to count numbers or some shit.
Or even if it's just like a video like critiquing like Mickey Mouse as a character.
Yeah, like let's say someone's going over
like
Disney like filmography, and they're going over like Steamboat Willie, like back from the like 1900s.
And they want to do like art critiques or like history review about it.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, if we like even stuff from like museums could be copyrighted, because if they have videos of like say old Disney films, like here are examples of animation, like early animations, they're gonna get copyrighted and taken down because Article 13 and the robots that will police it don't understand what that is. And the third option is these sites don't do anything and they just keep things how they are right now. Because one thing I just learned today is that Article 13 doesn't have an effect right now. It's just a directive put forth by the European Parliament, and it's supposed to be followed by the nation states, but they have to make their own versions of it, which makes it even worse, because what if there's a Spanish Article 13, which is way different from a Hungarian Article 13, and they have different interpretations of what copyright is. Ooh, I just hit my mic. Sorry. Because I can see you, so I'm talking with my hands like I do in real life. Sorry, I'll have to control these things.
You're fine.
What's it called? So, like, even then, the differences in the law could create so many different variations of the bill, where most companies will just go with the first option of going, "Oh, you didn't make that? Take it down. We're not going to allow that." Where basically the only players on the internet will be people creating their own works or giant companies.
Actually, you know what I believe? I think this is actually going to shoot Europe in the foot, not so much as America. Because if I was Google, the only thing I would have to do is just basically make it, if you live in the European Union, I will filter for you. But if you don't, I'll keep everything else the same on my end. Because think about it, it only affects people in the EU. So it's cheaper for Google for them to just block European users from having full access to the site.
And that's what I said about having 3 different internets now. Which is the original internet, Chinese internet, and European internet, which would suck because, like, you would see a lot of content not be put out anymore because millions upon millions of people in the EU can't post anything anymore.
You know what this reminds me of? 84. Like Oceania, Asia, and yeah.
Oh, yeah. You just said 84. I'm like, what the hell does 84 mean?
Yeah, 1984 from George Orwell. Yeah. This reminds me of, like, separating them by geographical regions.
Hopefully it has a better ending, because that book was kind of, like, depressing, honestly.
I know. Well, this
like, really depressing.
It's getting really cyberpunk more and more. Like, that is not authorized user content, sir.
Just pirate everything, guys.
You know what?
Don't give the big corporations money. I gotta silence my phone. Sorry.
Just pirate it. At this point, it's like, actually, no, we're not, like, we are kinda.
I advocate piracy.
Should we? I think I kind of do. I actually kind of do in certain cases as protest. Like, if you think that the services you get are shittier,
protest the EU's article. Listen, European listeners,
buy VPN.
Yes. Listen, maybe not even buy one. Just get a VPN that works, and don't give those stupid politicians and the companies who support them money, because they are just fucking you over.
Just turning you down, saying like, "Don't worry, this is for you. We're doing this for you," and then they.
Like literally, the guy who proposed it last week said maybe a site like YouTube shouldn't exist. Like, he wants to get rid of it.
Which is, oh my god,
because he thinks YouTube is just people going and copying movies and like uploading them straight up on YouTube.
YouTube is just okay. You know what the problem is? I think the problem is that they don't like people acting as people. Because in the end, that's what's the real problem. If you want to get mad at people for, you know, copyright strikes, fine. But in the end, here's two things that are happening. You can still have YouTube, you know, put monitors to check on for your content instead of just making a full wide ban. And on top of that, I think it's more of like the problem of old media doesn't know how to react and how to move forward in the digital age, where if you know everything's going to be pirated or copyrighted, what kind of business model do you have that can prevent yourself from getting screwed over? I'm not saying you shouldn't have protections, but I'm not saying you should just expect that this law is going to end everything, because it won't. It's not going to solve anything. You know, my professor, Professor in my class, yeah, well, but he was telling me, although he was saying, we all know that piracy is wrong, right, guys? And everyone was quiet. No one said a thing for like 2 minutes. But I was like, when I think about that, it's like, okay, I know at least 80% of you pirate, which is at least, you know, we're in this together. But in any case, he was saying that, you know what? In the end, if you're a business in the digital age, you have to adapt, because if it comes to copyright law or anything, nothing's the same as it was 30 years ago, much less 10 years ago.
You know, I actually have a example of that. I don't remember the exact name of the game, but I saw, I believe it was about 6 months ago, there was this game on Steam that when it was put up on Steam, it was immediately put up on torrent sites, because there was no like piracy protection. And instead of what most devs do, which is try to take it down, the dev came out and said, hey, if you pirate it and like it, consider giving us some money by buying the game, or maybe buying the soundtrack and such. But we want more people to see our game, even if they don't pay for it, which I think is a great stance. You know, all companies can't take that. No. But I think like acknowledging that piracy is a part of what the internet is a good thing, rather than trying to do what other big game companies do, which is to try to get rid of it. Yeah. I think it's a better take, because like most people who are listening to this probably have pirated something in their life, whether it be like an MP3 off a torrent site, whether it be
stripping a video from YouTube and making it into a, you know, say like you're listening to Single Ladies and you made that MP3 by stripping it off from that.
Yeah, you just go to some like converter site and such. Like I pirate all the time. Like half the music you'll be listening to here is probably stripped off YouTube, because I mean, I try to buy the music that I enjoy listening to, but sometimes it's a little overpriced. Like, for example, I will be trying to put in tracks from, because I really like the music from the Persona series. I'll try to put in some tracks from Persona 4 Arena, which is a good game. But to buy the soundtrack for that costs like $50.
Which is,
it's like,
why?
No. Like, I support you guys, but if it's above like $35, then it ain't worth it to me.
For me, if an album's more than $20, and I'm saying why, it's not worth it.
Well, I mean, there's like dozens of songs on there, and it's quite a lot. But even then, it's not worth that much to me.
So it's just kind of annoying. On top of that, what about memes too? Like, you can't make memes safely.
I don't know. Memes are like a gray area right now, because
they're transformative.
Yeah, but it doesn't specify what content, like let's say you're Twitter. Yeah. You're like, okay, we have GIFs, videos, and pictures put up on our sites, on our site. Article 13 does not say what to do about copyrighted material. It just says that if it's copyrighted, the site itself will be sued. So Twitter will go out there saying, we have no idea if memes are allowed. We don't know if videos are allowed or if GIFs are allowed. The bill did not say. So we're either probably going to do nothing, selectively choose things to ban, or just ban everything.
Which you can't.
The third option is probably the most suicidal, but it'd be the one where they'd be safest with the law.
Which really, social networks are meant for sharing. So if you're saying you can't share things, otherwise we'll sue you. And it was super broad too. It wasn't like you can't share articles from these people.
It just says anything copyrighted.
Which is why it's like, does this mean that we destroy the internet?
Hell, like our podcast could be taken down.
Well, our podcast should be taken down for multiple reasons, just for like copyright music in the background alone.
Hey, listen, you see, like the music I choose for this, I don't choose create like music where I know that the creators don't like it being distributed. I choose music from games and other such things where I have seen other, much bigger creators use it in their videos and it's still monetized. Like, for example, the idea where I got to use the Persona music that I use in a lot of the podcast here is I was watching a video by The Right Opinion. I don't remember what he was talking about, but he has like, I think, a couple 100,000 subscribers, and his video had like 1 million views, and he was using music from Persona 3 in the background. And I was like, oh, this video is still monetized, I'm getting ads. Wow. So I was like, okay, well, if he can do it and the algorithm didn't take him down, then it should be good enough for us.
Yeah, if we're small enough, then there's no way they're going to get... Look, the fact that we're small is the fact that we can get away with a lot at this point, so...
I know, but I still think we're within the legal area of pre-Article 13.
Fair enough. Oh, pre-Article 13, we're good.
Yeah, but post, everybody's in a legal area.
Now, here's the other thing. Is it for, like, copyright material in the EU, or is it just all around the world?
Well, it's only supposed to apply to the EU, but unless, Silicon Valley wants to create multiple internets, they're going to apply it to everyone.
Yeah, that's the easiest way. It's cheap. I would do the same thing too.
Yeah.
Just that way no one else would come and say, well, if you can do it, can I do it? It's like, alright guys, you know what?
You know what I just thought of?
What?
So, like, for example, in my side recommended from the music I was listening to before, I saw this video by my favorite independent music producer, Miracle of Sound, and it's his video, not his video, his music about Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, that one looks great.
And it is pretty good. I mean, he makes good music. But would something like that be banned under Article 13? He doesn't use any music from the game.
Is the game from Europe?
It's Japanese.
Then I think he's fine.
I know, but like, if they do it where they apply these rules to all of the internet, would that still be banned because it's about a copyrighted work?
I think...
And like, he uses clips from the game as the video.
In my opinion, I think that... I believe, because of how YouTube works and how Facebook... Like, this basically, like... Because of how low this bill goes, YouTube and Google can't really stand up if they were to fall by the letter, So I think this is more of like their discretion of whether they think they're big enough to not, get dealt with this.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
I don't know. This is a tough decision, but here's my uninformed opinion. My uninformed opinion would be, if you're Google or YouTube, I would say block the site all across Europe. Just block it from Europe.
That investors will hate that.
Investors will hate it. And they'll say, but why don't you just remove the content? Then I'll tell them, this site literally doesn't work without it. So, no. It's too broad. I would sue the EU for making a shitty law. That's what I would do.
I don't think you can sue them for that.
Why not? You can't like sue them for like making a shitty law?
No. Well, you can sue about laws, but only if you have a like for example, the immediate pop out of my mind was wait, no, that wasn't a law. Oh yeah, because I was thinking about the Supreme Court case of I think it was Plessy versus Ferguson about slavery in the U.S. and how a former slave like sued his former master, but that wasn't based on a law. It was based on a previous Supreme Court case. I don't remember what it was called. But that was based on a judicial case, not a law. I don't think you can sue the government over a law.
I think you can.
If
they break precedent.
What was like Roe v. Wade then? I mean, like, there were laws in place to ban abortions and such, but then Roe v. Wade happened and the law changed.
I don't really know much about it because it's been a while since I had to go through like case law in high school. But
like even then there'd be such pressure not to, because a lot of big companies in the EU supported this. I mean, most of the dissent was from American companies and like small time citizens.
Literally everyone, like either American companies or people who are just like know how the internet works and they think this is just a dumb idea. Whereas big businesses, of course, they would love to sue Google because it's basically
especially old old media and such.
Not even that. Just think about besides like new media, if you're like just sitting on your butt and you like sell newspapers or old magazines like The Sun, and you see that Google is going to be forced to give you money for using your articles, that sounds like passive income, baby. So
yeah, I mean, whoa, wait. So like, this would affect even online like newspapers, because what if they use like a picture of somebody, say they're using they're making an article about that shooting in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. Like, what if they use a picture of like the
a British
imam of the church, or like the shooter himself?
No, that's fine. The thing is, you can't use someone from like anything that was created by someone in the EU that hasn't been protected by copyrighted. That person and the government can't sue the platform.
Well, yeah, but I'm taking into effect that I probably think that these companies will apply this to the whole internet, not just the EU.
Well, if we're going by that, you break the internet. But I would say then, yeah, literally sue anybody for anything. I should be sued for anything that I put up that's like shared, unless it's specifically said Creative Commons. You basically can sue anybody for anything unless it says Creative Commons. So, nudes, dick pics. Actually, if you have a revenge porn, you can actually sue your exes even more if you had that situation, because it's your copyright by taking a photo of your body. So, by that logic,
that's what I was thinking. Like the shooter himself could sue the company, like papers that are writing about it, because if they used his picture, that is his copyright. Like, ugh.
I guess I would say it's a bit different if you're a criminal, but who knows? Because it's no public record. That's the reason why public records are protected a bit differently.
I don't know if the algorithm robots will understand what that is.
Oh no, the algorithm robots won't. But that's the problem. If they do it by robots, or they do it just like a broad sweep, then it breaks the internet and it doesn't work. If you do it where it's like, okay, if it's from the EU, or if it's anyone that made it from the EU, then it's kind of manageable, but it's still a butt ton of work.
Still, basically, that's like a giant quarantine zone.
Basically. Like, you're quarantining. At least China quarantines itself. EU is telling you, no, quarantine it for us. Mm-hmm. Do it for me.
We're going to build a quarantine and make the Americans do it for us.
They're going to build a wall, an internet wall, make the Americans pay for it. That's literally what it is.
This is a bad situation, but we can only see where it goes in time, I guess. I mean, you'll probably be hearing us talk about this in a few months when more stuff comes out. So.
Marco builds a wall. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
This is so dumb.
I saw a meme earlier. I just remembered it because you mentioned Merkel, and it made me think of Germany. And it was a picture of JoJo, and it was part 2.
Oh.
And it was Caesar and Joseph in the car saying, "I didn't expect the Third Reich to show up," but it said the Fourth Reich and showed a EU flag. Anyways, what else did you want to talk about? I mean, this is why we don't do it weekly, because we only have so many ideas of interesting topics to talk about.
Yeah, we have to talk about Google Stadia, that we We recorded last time.
Oh, we did talk about that. Yeah, and I actually know a little bit about it this time because you
Oh.
explained it to me last time.
Okay, so
But I only know what you told me.
So basically, for the listeners, last week, and actually I'm going to talk a little bit of tech news because Apple did some recent stuff too. Recently, Google Stadia was launched, or not launched, but it was announced it's coming out, and the idea is a cloud gaming platform. For me to describe what that basically is, a cloud gaming platform is the idea of, instead of having to have your own computer that runs the software and the graphics and all the memory, you can use someone else's computer that's a beefy, super macho computer to do all the work for you. And because of that, you can play like high 4K games in like, the highest graphic settings or power settings using someone else's computer from your own, even say your phone or your tiny laptop, your old ThinkPad from 2009, whatever. The only issue that I think most people have been criticizing is, how do you get latency to work out, which is the time between you sending a command to move forward to it moving on the screen at the server and coming back to you. So people are making some critiques. People are saying this is going to revolutionize it because the only thing you need is a Google Stadia controller and then you can work on your phone, your computer, or whatever. But other people are saying like, hey, are you going to make games worse because we can't play them without Wi-Fi and we can't even own our games anymore? Or on top of that, what if you're a game developer? What's your cut now if Google's going to host the game and do all the graphics for you? It's something really interesting. I wanted to hear what Jeff thinks about that.
Yeah, and having thought about it more since my first time hearing about it when I knew almost nothing, I mean, I think it could turn out well, but only if it happens in a certain way. Like, they need to build these centers where they stream out the games and such very close to large population areas. And anyone in a remote rural area will probably have a bad time with it, but that's not the target demographic, I believe.
Right.
Anyways, my main problem with it is, you mentioned both of them, is Wi-Fi. What if your internet drops? Your game is just gonna freeze because you're not playing it on your own device. For example, say I didn't have internet for a few days. I could still open up Steam in offline mode and play any single-player game I wanted as good as if I had internet. But now, if I got all my games through Stadia, then I couldn't do anything because I don't own those games. And secondly, because I don't own them, I would need to either stay subscribed to Stadia or however that would work.
Yeah, they didn't detail it, but we're assuming it's a subscription service like Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, unless you buy them on Stadia, which would be kind of odd because Google make way less money from that. A subscription service makes a lot more sense. But even then, one of my favorite aspects of gaming that I enjoy doing a lot is modding. I love taking my favorite games and trying to fix the flaws myself by going out and seeing what people created to fix up, holes that I think the game has, or just adding new content to it, adding new stories, new weapons, new creatures, everything like that. And I think almost every game could be modded to be better because the developer only has a certain amount of time, but fans, they're not going to be as good usually, but they have as much time as they want to make something great. For example, one of I think the best mods ever made, at least for Skyrim, is this mod Enderil, which is basically its own game. It just uses the Skyrim engine and assets to create its own unique story, weapons, characters. It's not even set in the same world. It has its own voice actors, and it's essentially its own game created through modding of Skyrim, and it's quite something. I believe it had a 12-hour playtime.
Jeez, so that's a full game.
Yeah, and it was free because it's a mod for Skyrim.
Wow.
And yeah, it was quite something. And that sort of creative freedom to make what you want, I think, is a big boon of modding. It can help some people even get into the game industry because you can go mod your favorite game to learn how the code works and then go to the company itself and say, hey, I made this mod that got 5 million downloads and I did all this in the code. I can help you out by being a dev for you, and you might get a job.
Which honestly, if you
Um,
showed me that as like a company, I'd be like super impressed. Like, shoot, you're the one who made this. I imagine like you go to Bethesda and it's like, I'm the one who made Enderil. They at least gives you an interview.
Enderall. Sorry,
Enderall.
I said it wrong. It actually has its own Steam page now.
Shoot, yeah, I think
I'm gonna send that to you.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know it had its own Steam page, but I mean, there's even unique assets that you can see in the screenshots. Like, this looks only like vaguely like Skyrim to me.
Yeah, this doesn't really look like Skyrim just by the cover
a
alone.
few things like the in one of the screenshots you can see a guy standing there with a staff on like a beach. Like, that looks like a modded Skyrim to me.
Mhm.
But most of the other screenshots look like a brand new game, and that is through someone just putting passion into a project. But with this new thing by Google, you couldn't do that because you don't own the game. You can't implement a mod like this into your game because Google is not going to download all your shitty mods onto their servers. They're not going to download like Catgirl mods onto their Skyrim servers. Like, Google has more decency than that.
Not even that, but just think about like if you're like, say you want to be a modder, the only way that you would be able to do that for a game that you like is that they approve you, which yeah, that's not going to happen.
You end up
Chief.
with something like the Creation Club with Bethesda right now, which is basically they'll contract a modder and say like, hey, make us this mod that does this. Like, hey, make us a new power armor set. And the modder's like, okay, how much I getting paid? And they're like, we'll give you like a few $1,000s. And they're like, okay, but do I get any proceeds? Like, when people buy this mod off your shop, do I get any money?
Do I get like a 10% cut or something?
And
like
no,
that? Oh.
they just get a flat rate for when they make it, and that's it.
That
and most
sucks.
of them are pretty terrible because the modder doesn't value the quality of the work, because it's not like they're doing this out of passion. They're doing this for a paycheck that they'll only get once. They'll put out something terrible, and then Bethesda will come and try to sell it to you.
Not even that. It's just, it'd be better if it was like, okay, we're not going to pay you up front, but we'll give you a 30%.
We'll give you like even like 10%.
Nah, 30% cut would be good. Like, you built the mod, 30% cut for as long as the game's on our page. That sounds pretty good. So that incentivizes you to do well.
Yeah, because if it's not good, it won't sell. But I mean, yeah, only like professional modding would ever happen, which isn't good. So that's my main gripes with the system. But like with the topic I wanted to cover after this, we have almost no information, and it's all pure speculation.
And speaking of other things of speculation in tech, I don't really talk about Apple, but the reason I want to talk about them this time is because you know how recently they had showed to their investors that iPhones haven't been selling more than the last year. So they've been like at a, not so much declining, but at like a stall. So because of that, Apple's been moving into different services, different things they're trying to do to get like more money. And one thing that they've been going into is services. I'm not sure if you heard about this. So
no, I haven't heard anything about Apple.
So what happened is in Apple, they basically are trying to make their own Netflix service by having their own shows, movies. They got Steven Spielberg, Oprah, and a bunch of other people to join in. On top of that, they're trying to have like an arcade system, like kind of like Google Stadia, but instead of like they host the game, it's more of you can get almost all the games that are curated by Apple on the App Store for a flat fee every month as like a subscription. So if you're like a mom who has like kids that like playing like Angry Birds or like not Angry Birds, what was that other one? There's like a racing game that's really popular that I used to love when I was younger. If you
I never played mobile games. No.
But basically, if you any mobile game that you wanted to play that would be in that curation club, you could get as much as you play it as much as you want without ads, with premium service, by paying a monthly fee for all the games in the App Store. And this is not the first time, because they're trying to do the same thing with Apple Music, which has been doing well for them, and other stuff. That lately is just becoming more and more apparent. That it's like, look, guys, we're Apple. We'll figure out a way. But it's just kind of like interesting how they're like, we're not moving so much on hardware anymore. We're going to focus on services so we can make recurring money.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Apple's main problem is overselling their devices. Like the iPhone X being $1,000, I think is way overpriced.
Well,
Like, I don't know how much it costs to make the thing, but I assume it's probably $200, maybe $300. I think selling it for $700 would increase their sales exponentially and earn them more money in the long run. Like, if you've taken basic economics, like I know you have, but like listeners, then you know what a supply and demand chart is. Apple, their demand is pretty high, but your demand will go down with the increase in price. Your supply will go up. Like, Apple's willing to make a lot more iPhone X's at $1,000, but less people are willing to buy them. So they're at a plateau right now where they have too many, phones and not enough buyers. And the way to fix that, if you've taken basic economics, is to decrease the price. But Apple won't do that.
I think the reason why it wouldn't be in the interest of Apple is because it's more of they don't want that kind of consumer. Like, they're insisting on what kind of consumer they want.
They want like an elitist phone owner.
Not even that.
Like,
just someone who has enough money to spend like $200, like $100 or so on services so they can have like a really streamlined service that works all in one bundle. They want something that's just like, nice, buttoned up, perfect. They don't have to think about anything. It just works.
Like buying a computer like right off the shelf.
Yeah, but pretty, basically. And on top of that, they want music to be unlimited. They don't want to think too much about where they're going to watch their entertainment. It's just all there. I mean, they're even trying to get into the healthcare game too. And actually, no, they also released.
Serious?
Yeah, they're trying to do that, and they also announced that they're going to be making a credit card where you can use your credit card to go for your Apple Pay, so it'll give you more points and money back for rewards that will be, whether it's in like the online.
When do we get our first like mega corporation government?
That's what I'm thinking. It's getting really close. Who's going to be the first one? If I had to give a guess, if I had to pick which one I'd rather be, I'd obviously say Apple. But if I had to say which one's more likely, Google's more likely to be megacorp. It's
Google's gonna go colonize Mars, make their own giant corporation nation.
Pretty much. It's something else, man. When I'm looking at this and Apple, I think it's interesting. I know at least they're gonna say like to the investors, hey, we know what we want. We're getting this kind of consumer, and they're gonna come to us one way or another. And they're basically just going off their existing base, because the people who are already in Apple Land don't want to leave Apple Land. And if they can make it harder for them to leave Apple Land, then they'll pay whatever they need to keep it going. Because it's kind of like a drug, Like,
yeah.
If I give you like, one hit of crack, for free 1 week, and you come back next week, you give you free the other week, and then after that, when you're like really addicted, it's like, hey, how much for a crack? And I say $100, then I know you're going to pay that $100.
Yeah, and like what I was trying to say earlier about like elitist phone owners for Apple is just most Apple owners I've seen think that Apple is the best because it costs more. It's like, my iPhone X cost me $1,000, so it has to be the best phone on the market.
How much is your phone? Oh, yeah, I only got it for free. Oh, you got it for free? I bet it's worth shit. Of course.
It's like, my phone that I have right now over here cost me like $250. It's like, that must be a piece of crap that's ancient. I'm like, no, it's fine. It does everything I want it to. But just most iPhone users I see are like almost like, listen, people who use iPhones who are listening to this, sorry, but this is my unfiltered take. Like, It just seems like they're in like a cult almost.
Yeah, it's a cult.
They are indoctrinated to think only Apple is good. Android is bad. Samsung is bad. Apple makes the only good products. I should spend $1,000 every single year buying Apple products.
$1,000 every year, man.
It's like, wake up, sheeple.
We're breaking the condition!
No, not even that, but it's like, when I'm thinking about this, like, Apple products, they're okay, but I would not be the person that would spend $1,000 on it. Maybe like $500.
They're like above average, but they're not, like, their biggest thing is their style and look. Like, they look good, but their function is pretty trash.
Yeah, you know what? I think is pretty much that's the problem. I can't customize it. That's the thing. Like, for me, I care about customization when it comes to anything. If it means I can like change this into dark mode, if it means I can add extra tools onto my system or whatever like that, or I can like enter the route, even if I don't do anything, the fact that the company says, hey, we trust you, you're a big boy now, you can deal with the phone however you want, your consequences. That makes me trust the company more than like, okay, let's hold your hand. We're going to walk you over to the news section. By the way, they're also planning on doing a news feed where you pay a subscription to have unlimited access to certain news. Which, they did that before with Apple Newsstand in the past, which I gotta say, why they're doing it again, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get good with the media, but I don't think the media is trying to get good with anybody. Actually, you know what? I gotta go on this tangent. I have a feeling that
Tangent's so weird, weirdly, tangent.
Tangent.
Anyways, go.
I have a feeling that Trump actually made the media stronger.
I think a test of anything, and if that thing survives, it will come out stronger.
I think the reason why is because the whole. I was looking at the new tagline for New York Times: "Democracy dies in darkness." It's like, oh no, we're under attack. Please give us money. It's like, oh, I see you guys are trying to do. I think because of the internet and because of Donald Trump, how they're demonizing the media, everyone who's kind of on the media's case, oh no, I don't like this state of affairs. I gotta stay informed and protest against bad things that are happening in the world. But hey, good on you, man. That's great. I appreciate you trying to get involved. But I also see at the same time it's kind of oh, you guys want to get involved in learning about your civil rights? That's good. Yeah. Here, buy 5 subscriptions to New York Times, The Economist, The New Yorker, The Atlantic. It's I'm sorry, what? How much does it cost? Oh, $57. What the hell? I can't afford that all. Oh, it's okay. You can do a flat fee of $10 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee every day for you to get all.
What kind of coffee are you buying?
You're going to Starbucks every day, and that's not surprising.
For $10?
$10 a month? That's less than a cup of coffee per day. Shoot.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you buy $10 coffee every day. I'm like, what?
Whoa!
What kind of coffee are you buying?
Actually, you know what? I'm not surprised that I see that happen. I see that happen.
Coffee's not even that good. Tea's way better. Changed my mind.
Yeah. I would say the sugar in coffee makes it really good.
Shit, hey, that's unhealthy.
It is. Which is look, there's certain tea that I love when it has sugar in it and honey, but that's also not healthy. If I can drink...
Who adds honey to their tea?
Oh, it's... Okay. Chamomile with milk and honey is so...
But that'll ruin the, earthy flavor of the tea.
That's the thing. Some people don't want the earthy flavor. They just want this... Some people just want the chemical, and they want some milk and sugar. What's up?
Look at this. I have so many kinds of tea in this little bag.
It's a bag of
chai, chocolate, English breakfast, Irish breakfast, black, green. It's all good, but I don't put anything in it. I just, get some hot water, brew my tea, and that's enough. If you do different, then you're doing it wrong. Just enjoy the tea how it is.
Hey, he's not wrong. It's better for you. I'll tell you that. You get better if you want, say you're drinking black tea, you want to get energized, you might as well just drink it black. You can't put milk and sugar, otherwise you're going to be,
Black tea's not even that bitter.
It's not that bitter, honestly. Compared to, look, I'll drink black tea.
Black coffee?
Yeah, I'll chain drink, black tea any day before you give me a gallon of coffee. I can do both, but it would be really painful for one of the others.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know how we got on this coffee and tea tangent from Donald Trump. But...
Yeah. The whole media thing, and in the end, I just think that it's kind of everyone's trying to get a subscription service. Everyone wants to be have a recurrent income. I think everyone's just trying to take that 4-hour work week from Tim Ferriss model. And it's yeah, I need to give some more time to myself. Let's try to do some passive income so I can live in the beach in Bali. So that way they have the customers just giving the money every month. 1 minute you're paying a Netflix subscription, then you're an Apple Newsfeed subscription, then your Google Stadia, and after that you got your Apple Arcade. And then finally you got your news feeds that are curated from Apple, so that way you can avoid the whole Article 13 mess. And at the end of it, you're oh wait, I still have to pay for my bills and all that. You're probably going to be spending upwards at least $300 on just your everyday expenses for things that you thought were worth it. but
you know how you fix most of that besides paying bills and taxes and such, because I'm not up for tax evasion because my name isn't Yoshi.
Do what you want,
piracy.
a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Or you could just be part of the gang, get $1,000 a month every
No,
year.
it won't fucking work. It won't work.
You are a pirate.
It will not work. Yang
Yang
gang all
gang.
stupid. They're all stupid because they don't understand how money works.
No, I think people understand how money works. It's just more of like, hell, if America's already going to crap, might as well give us $1,000 a month so we can make it fun.
Or they're just like, well, people are carving up the pie. I guess
I think that's
should
really
try
the
to
case.
Stop them. I just want my slice so I can fucking run.
That's really it. Like, well, if the billionaires are going to take all the money, might as well let me get my slice of the robot money. They're going to take my job. Screw it.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I know you don't.
Anyways,
It's hilarious.
as I alluded in a previous section where we were talking about, I already forgot the name. Stega, whatever it's called.
Stadia.
Stadia, whatever. Stega's a better name.
I like that.
It's just like Stega, but with a T. What's it called? Things with little to no information and large amounts of speculation. P5R happened.
Yes.
A few days ago, and I already talked about this in our previous version of this podcast, but I've actually learned a bit more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just based on small little leaks we have and more speculation, which I believe is true, and the trailer got translated into English. Well, not like dubbed English, but translated.
That's okay. Subs still good.
Dubs are way better, but that's a discussion on our time. Anyways, if you're not in the Persona cult, you probably wouldn't know about what P5R is because it's a Japanese trailer from a Japanese announcement made in December of last year. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's whatever is happening next with the Persona series, and you know how I love to talk about that. But Atlas really came out there last December and said, hey, we're going to have more news on something coming out next year. See us again in March. Mm-hmm. People are like, oh shit, they're going to announce like a new game or something. Let's see what they have. And there's wild hype about it. Then a few days ago, Atlas comes out with this trailer for P5R, which is Persona 5 the Royal. Or as I like to call it, Persona 5 the... Oh my god, I just killed my own joke because I stuttered. Persona 5 the Royale with cheese.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, what's it called? But they came out and it was this like 30-second trailer of just this new model of this like woman in the school uniform of the main character. And she's talking to somebody who we figured out was Akechi from Persona 5, who was basically a like special investigator who worked for the police to take down the Phantom Thieves. And he's asking her like, so why don't you like the Phantom Thieves? She's like, oh, I don't think they're just. I don't like what they do, but yeah.
If you want to do something, you gotta take things in your own hands.
And so people are thinking that she might actually be a playable antagonist.
That'd be
so,
cool.
Like, it would be very, very cool because it'll probably be something like Persona 3 FES, which is a basically updated version of the game with new features and then this new side story. And unlike FES, which was a story afterwards, I think this one will happen like at the same time, where you're working with Akechi to try to take down the Phantom Thieves. And I'm not going to talk anymore about my theories about that because it's spoilers. What's it called? But I think it'd be very, very cool because being able to play as an antagonist.
What would that be like? That's the question. What would that gameplay?
I mean, you could only really have one teammate, so it could be a much more personal story between just two characters, really.
Does Akechi have like subordinates that he works with? Or?
Not that he mentioned. He's actually a subordinate himself.
Oh, so in that case,
he works for the semi-final villain. So it would be very interesting because he never meant like his entire thing of when you fight him, he's like, I don't need friends. I don't need people to help me. I can beat you all myself. You're all just dogs, like licking each other's wounds and such, blah, 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 that sort of stuff. So it'd be interesting to see him paired up with somebody else.
Shoot.
I'm excited about it, but Atlas really came out and announced an announcement of an announcement.
Announceception.
And then they said, "Hey, see us again in April." And if they come out in April and they give us another 60-second trailer and go, "See us again in June," you will hear me angry.
He's gonna lose his shit.
I am, because like, okay, Atlas, you've already got me angry because you're not doing a dub for Persona Q2, which got me angry because I was actually looking forward to that game because it has great music that I'll probably be playing right now. But like, I'm willing to excuse that because it's on the 3DS, which is a dying system anyway.
Yeah.
But if you put 3 fucking announcements in a row, you're honestly just trolling your like consumers at that point. Why?
No, they should have like the 4th announcement. Like, hey guys, it's out now. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah. Or they're just like, hey, the game's not real. Like, that'd be even more of like, it was all just a troll. Here's the real game.
I was like, what?
Everything you know is a lie.
P6 drops. What?
Yeah. It's like, psych, bitch, we got you.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
I would be angry and happy at the same time.
It's like, Jeffrey's not P5R, it's just P6.
And I'm like, oh shit, well there goes another 200 hours of my fucking life. See you in 3 weeks.
See you. Hey, a call of the phone is like, oh, it's your brother. Picks up, it's like, hey, where's Jeff? Oh, I'm sorry, he can't pick up the phone right now. He's been playing Persona for the past like 5 days straight. Is he okay? I don't know. He's been drinking tea to keep himself alive. I think he's lost a lot of weight too.
I mean, that's honestly how I played P5. I played it during the summer, which made it a lot easier. So I would wake up at like 11 a.m., get up, eat some food, go to the bathroom, walk to my PS4, turn it on, play P5 from like noon till like 9, eat dinner, get back to playing until about 1 a.m., go to sleep and do it again.
That's a neat life. It's good.
It was quite something. It was very fun because I got to immerse myself fully. And go play the game, buy it. The Persona games are on PlayStation 2, 3, 4. They're really good. I recommend it.
I'm gonna definitely make some. I'm gonna be playing that for like. I'm gonna finish P3 very soon. And like by the time that the semester ends. One thing I'm looking forward to also.
Where are you in the game right now, by the way?
I still haven't. I have not made any progress, honestly. The reason is because I am close to doing 2 things: applying for a job on campus, and 2, getting update on my financial aid. So
Mission accomplished. Good work.
you don't have to. They'll be like, "Why didn't you tell us before?" It's like, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to, I'm doing those 2 things, and once that gets updated, then I can like, oh, I can get a Pell Grant now? Finally! I can get a work study? Finally! Then I don't have to worry about money or anything at that point. I can just go through college, whatever, skate through. The thing I'm looking forward to, and actually, there's one thing I wanted to ask you. There's nothing I was talking about this. I thought about this. If you can like personalize your own like home, like you say you like buy your mortgage or whatever, what would it be like? Because I was talking with some of my friends, and one thing I was thinking is like, I want to have a treehouse again. I'd never had a treehouse, but I want to make a treehouse, like as a grown adult.
But like, would it just be a simple wooden one?
No. This is gonna be like, there's gonna be wood, but it's not gonna be just like a normal regular treehouse. I mean, I'm way more okay with having a really tiny house if it means I can have an awesome treehouse in a basement. Here's why. I want the treehouse to be like a tower post command center, where it's like I go up like on not so much like a ladder. It just connects to my top like second floor of my house with like a small drawstring, like a drawstring bridge, so you can just like walk from one window on like a little gondola pathway to my treehouse.
So kind of like this then?
Let me get a look.
Looks like you have to click on the link. Unfortunately, it didn't open up.
Like that. Exactly like that. That's what I want to have.
Yeah.
That way.
So for viewers who can't see it, it's a
We'll put it in the show
small,
notes.
It's like a small tree house on the middle of a tree. It looks like a very tall one, and there's like a drawbridge, like a rope drawbridge from the nearby like hill to the treehouse itself, and it looks like you can bring it in at night or such.
And that's the thing I'm thinking of doing. Like, I want to have this and also have it set up to where I can like have security, like, kind of like in the event of a zombie apocalypse or the event of an
oh my god,
not even a zombie apocalypse, just like in the event of like food shortage or water shortage, I could just be on top of like, okay, let's see how everyone's doing today. Yep, everyone's still angry. Well, this doesn't look good. I'm gonna stay right here in my treehouse, please.
Well, why wouldn't they just burn the tree down? You think about that?
I did. That's the whole point of the basement. It's like the bunker. It's more of like to give me like a little bit of the treehouse is for like fun during the end of the times, like just like hey guys, you want to come over to my treehouse? We have like soda, we got Spetsy, we got like I can put like games in there if I can have it like insulated with AC.
Yeah, that'd be the biggest thing, especially because we're in Florida. Like, you would just die inside that, like, wooden house.
No. I'm not gonna. If I'm gonna do this, I want to go all out. Like, it's a house, like a tiny little shed in a tree.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you don't want some like mansion. Like,
no, I don't want a McMansion, but I do want
this example here.
What?
Like, that's a real house.
That I would do, but that seems a little bit too ornate. But if I were to for like a real house though, that's actually pretty cool. Where did they do the plumbing? That's the other thing. Is that
I assume
that giant pillar?
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Where like all the plumbing goes through that one pipe,
That is
and it just goes down into the ground.
That's too cool. What would you want to do? I'm thinking of a tree house in a bunker that has like all my servers for like games. I could just host.
My perfect house would probably just be like a large apartment on top of like a 6-story tall building, because I don't want it to be too tall, but like not too short either. Just like give me the entire top floor to myself. I can have like 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, like a pool.
That's
and, like
cool.
there's like half of it is like this balcony with not like a balcony.
What, like a
half of it
infinite
isn't enclosed. Like it doesn't have a roof, and there's like a pool, and I can like look out on the city and stuff. Like that sounds like a really good place to live to me. As long as I'm not in like LA where I die of smog.
Yeah, no, at that point. Or
I'd want a city where the air is at least semi-clean, like the
Miami, but then you have to deal with hurricanes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather do it like somewhere near the ocean or water to be nice. Basically, I just want to do it in the town that we grew up in, that I currently live in, because like it's not too large of a town, but it's not too small, so it's pretty good.
I would say the reason I'm thinking about this is because excuse me. One of the things I'm doing, and I'm thinking of going into this room. I'm changing up my rooms next year for housing. And one of the things I'm planning on doing is like I'm just imagining like things that I would like to live in. So this just kind of got me in that mood. But what right now is my realistic, like my real budget is I'm planning on getting like a room, and I'm gonna ask for it to be not furnished. So they don't give me like a bed frame. They don't give me any like drawers or anything like that. They just give me the closet, and I'm gonna have the whole futon thing, like I said last time. Just for the listeners to know, I wanted to say that I actually got a bed with my new place and good furnishing, so things got better. Lucky me. Bless. I'm just going to make it the best place to have I'm going to get like the best gaming chair I can find. So, because the one thing I like about gaming chairs is that they're really good for your back. And I need that.
Yeah, they're usually pretty stiff, yeah.
So I would take a good gaming chair, a really nice desk so I can put all my computers, and then just laying on the floor with a futon, like in those anime.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely make a room like the office that I record in. You know like about the size of it because you've been here.
Yeah, and with
like,
a TV that I have.
Yeah, you could turn a room like this into a viable living space space with almost everything you need. Like you could have a bed here, you could have a computer here, you could have a microwave with a little tiny stove.
Well, the thing
like
is,
a mini fridge.
I won't use the bed.
Like that.
That's the thing. I'll just take a futon so I can maximize space.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like any variation of bed. I'd like a traditional bed, not a like advanced sleeping bag.
Advanced sleeping bag.
Yeah, but I mean, you could definitely optimize a small space like this to be more efficient. So, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem living in a apartment because I could definitely maximize the space used as long as I have gas and plumbing. That's
the thing. It comes with gas and plumbing and an Ethernet, but it doesn't give me Wi-Fi. So they also said if you want to make your own router and stuff and like your own DNS stuff, that's fine. So when I heard
make it yourself.
Yeah, you have to make your own Wi-Fi with a router, but they'll give you the jack for you to plug into the Ethernet.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you meant make your own modem out of like scrap. I'm like, holy shit!
No.
That's a bit too far for me.
No, they give you the Ethernet cable. Figure it out from there. But we will give you normal cable. The reason is because like you only have a computer, so you can just like plug it in there. But if you need Wi-Fi, then no, they won't give it to you. Which, in all fairness, getting a router and then having it so I can like set up my own Wi-Fi and my own network on someone else's internet. They basically, the only thing they say is you have a limited amount of electricity before you have to pay extra. But if I can like keep my energy consumption down, I'm probably just gonna have all that energy go towards like having a server for my room, and then
he's in there like lighting candles to like save on his electricity bill.
Or and hey, in all fairness, I could do that. Or I can do like I'm gonna put all my electricity into RGB. RGB lighting.
Yeah.
And that way I could like when I go into my room, it just snaps on RGB.
Yeah. It's like somebody comes into your room and you just go and like it changes to like a purple and you go and it goes to yellow. It's like I spent all my money on this. I appreciate it.
Hey, the rent was like $585 a month. So when I heard that, I'm like, shit, that's pretty good. That's like you can get minimum wage at a part-time job, and you can afford that if you do it unfurnished. So that's why I was thinking like that sounds pretty good. I was looking at the treehouse because I was also thinking of like fantasy places you want to live in. Like I would say I would rather live in a more realistic place like a city, but there's nothing like having the ability to have like a treehouse that has like AC in it.
Yeah.
Or
you're talking about your like this like little closet that you live in. What came to my mind is if you've ever seen Futurama, then there was one episode where they go to Bender's apartment.
Oh yeah.
Literally a closet.
Yeah, I remember.
Of why is that thing so long? Jesus Christ. Okay. Maybe this. It's over 2,000 characters.
Don't. Just get a short link.
Okay. Yeah.
2,000 characters for a link. That's hilarious.
2,000 characters for a thing that maybe has like 400 pixels in it.
That's hilarious.
Desktop, download that JPEG, upload. I immediately thought of this. Which I can imagine you trying to maximize that space. And for listeners, if you've never seen Futurama or you don't remember this, it's basically can fit
two
maybe
people standing up.
Yeah, 2 people standing up, and maybe 3 people if they really squeeze.
Or they're skinny, yeah.
And it's literally just a rectangular space with a door, and that's literally it. And that's what I imagine Yjang's like, I'm gonna make this place really good. I'm gonna have like all my stuff, and I'm like, he's about to literally live in a room.
No. I'm not gonna be like Harry
College
Potter.
Student life.
No, not that bad. Actually, wait. I think I can show you. Let me see if I can pull it up. I wish I could. Man, sometimes I wish I could spell. Remember that meme?
No.
No, like I wish I could read whatever someone reads. Like they look at something and then the other guy's so dumb they can't understand what it says. Let me see.
I remember the like Arthur version of that, where it's like girl Arthur, whatever her name is. She's like, I don't understand what the sign means, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, right here. Here it
She
is.
can't read.
This one.
Don't you love us going over like a visual medium in a fucking audio podcast? Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah, this one. That one's from Know
Why is
Your...
it a black guy though?
Ask Know Your Meme. I don't know why they made it a black guy. Maybe it's a racist one.
This is pretty racist.
It is. I was just going off of Know Your... Why is this... Actually, these are the first 5 ones that come off of Know Your Meme. Wow.
If you can't see it, it's the thing of the guy reading a giant book, like the size of his chest. And it says, how to get welfare. And the steps are be black and collect welfare check. And
Okay, wait. Hold on a second.
Damn, I wish I could read. Like, that's racist as hell.
What? Hold on a second. Look at this. Okay, when I put it in Google, it gives it to me with the white Confederate. When I put it in DuckDuckGo, it gives it to me as black.
White Confederate?
Yeah.
Like a Confederate soldier?
Like this. Shoot, let me show you. This one was 2,000 characters. Why? Why is it this so...
I don't know why all the links are so damn long now. I blame, like, Article 13 or something.
Wait. Here it is. Here's the thing. Yeah, this one's shorter. There you go. Okay, this is what I do through Google.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm gonna transcribe this one as well. It says what the Civil War was fought for, and it's some white guy with like the
Confederate flag,
Confederate flag on his chest and the hat, and it says slavery, and it says, "Damn, I wish I could read." And at the bottom, it says, "I found this hilarious. Sorry if it's a repost."
I don't know why. It's like Google does it this way, and then DuckDuckGo does it this way.
Probably different user bases. So DuckDuckGo is racist against black people.
No, damn it all.
And Google is full of like left wing people, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
maybe more centrists, because I mean the Civil War was fought for slavery.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised it worked that way. I was like, huh. Let me just. I forgot we're off the main topic. The whole thing was.
What the hell were we talking about?
We were talking about like the place I was trying to tell you, and I was talking about that whole damn I wish I could read thing, and then it became about how I realized Google and DuckDuckGo have more biases than I remember. But
just like Bing is different too.
Let's search up. I'm gonna search up Bing for this exact same thing.
4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. How does it be half a bath?
Just a toilet in the sink.
That's a bathroom to me.
Yeah, but a full bathroom would be like you have a shower also.
Why do you need 4 bedrooms?
Oh, I don't. I rent the bedroom. I rent one of them.
Oh, so like, wait, renting or like roommates?
I rent the bedroom. There's people that also rent other bedrooms, but I don't have to worry about them. I still have roommates.
Oh, so it's a 2-story. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I would get the one that was, let's see. The one that I would probably get is not the one on the bottom floor, but the one on the top floor on the right or left.
One of the two with those thin walls you're talking about?
I mean,
I would take the one at the very bottom. You know, that's
that one costs you $40 more per month.
What is? Wait. So you only rent a room?
Yeah, and then you share the bathroom, and you also get everyone gets to use a laundry and a washer in the same place. You also get to use the kitchen and all that.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, you never heard of this?
Where you rent a room, like I assumed you would rent the house
and
share it with other people.
Well, you can do it that way, but you can also have. There's other places where they say, "Hey, we realize people only need one room, so instead of having to rent the whole house, let's just buy a bunch of houses, put it next to the."
And those beds are huge. Like they take up so much space in those rooms.
Exactly, which is why I'm thinking, hey, if I get it unfurnished, then I can have a futon and have all that space for my computer and living around.
Plus, at least to me, the one on the bottom looks way bigger.
Well, it does. You get. I would assume. Actually, I don't know because it's right on top of that one, so it could be that way or not. I'm not too sure. I would say if it is the case, then it would make sense because the guy's paying a little bit more. But
yeah, I think I'd personally take either that one or the one on the first floor because I don't like having to go upstairs.
I live upstairs in my normal house already, so that's what it's like. Oh, cool, nice, and it's all nice and tidy. The only thing I would have to deal with though is that I if I want to take a shower, there's only one in the top floor.
Oh wow, there's only one shower.
In the top floor. But if you pay for it to be that guy who's next to the shower, you pay like a little bit more, but you have direct access to it. And you pay a lot more, you can be the guy at the bottom. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Have a futon, have a really nice desk set up. The only problem is if anyone wanted to come over and sleep over, it's like, hey man, here's an extra futon too.
Yeah. Oh god. Imagine someone like brings their girlfriend over. You would hear all of it because there's 4 fucking people in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, that would suck.
Oh, I mean, in all fairness, that happens already here where I am. It's not uncommon for me to hear like a person upstairs having sex, so it's kind of like whatever.
I know, but like that's college.
Yeah, this is still college.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, what if there's like some 30-year-old man like living in the house?
I think they rent only to our students in the university graduates.
Really?
Yeah, that's the whole point of it.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, campus. Okay, yeah. Okay, I didn't know that.
So that's why I think I can do a futon in that place. And thank you, listeners.
Where the hell are you gonna buy a futon in the U.S.?
Amazon, baby. They will deliver.
Because most people, when they think futon, think of a futon couch.
Yeah, which sucks. I don't like them. And I would know because I had slept on that for a long time in Panama. And those are not good. I don't like the fact that they like fold out and they're both a chair and a bed. Just choose one way or another. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but like I said before, futon just seemed like advanced sleeping bags to me. Oh wait, no, I found some. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, these are imports though. Never mind. What else did I want to talk about?
I don't think there's much to talk about. We got the main thing already. Before the futon.
Yeah.
Sure is quiet out there. Yeah, too quiet. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Oh, I do have actually something to talk about,
okay.
Which is in the show notes. I want you to link what I sent you yesterday, which is my bestiary of Kenshi. I spent like 40 minutes making it.
I checked it out.
It's pretty long. I think it was like 4,000 words. I think.
It's a shame that I didn't get more upvotes because I looked at it. I was like, this is actually pretty detailed. But I think
I only have 40 upvotes at the moment. Which sucks because I put a lot of work into it.
The people who actually read it were like really impressed.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most recent comments is saying, "Sad this only has like 20 upvotes." When if you go on the main Kenji subreddit, someone can literally upload a meme that they can make in 30 seconds and it has hundreds. Like, for example, well, not necessarily because like someone can upload like their artwork. This, which is pretty good, you know. That takes some work, but then someone like this here really kind of angered me because this has 434 upvotes as of right now, and I could have made that in
what the hell?
30 seconds.
What the heck? That's it. Using well, I don't know. That's it.
That's it. And that's literally just a joke told by an item description. And they decided, I'm going to put it on this meme format of this potato man lifting like a giant potato. And that guy looking shocked in the background. Like, I could have made that 30 fucking seconds. But no. I spent like 45 minutes making a bestiary and every single, like, animal in the entire game. 40 upvotes, get out. It's like...
quality. It's not the... It's
really
not
how it be.
It's not the internet. It's quantity over quality. I think that's the thing.
I guess I'm just too good at putting out quality work. I don't know.
Hey, it's America. It's quantity over quality. That's the thing I've learned one thing for sure. You don't have to put out...
Unless you're rich.
Yeah.
If you're rich, then
quality.
You can afford quality.
Yeah. It is a case. When you have the money to spend, I want quality. But if it's not enough, then hey, give me just as much as I can. And then memes are cheap, so if you can make more on the dime, people are gonna upload.
Yeah. That's how it is sometimes.
The meme game.
Also, lastly, I wanted to ask. Wait, no, you don't live here anymore. Because I was gonna ask if you voted in the town election. Because I forgot that they even happened.
Yeah, okay, I forgot that even happened, and one of my mom reminded me about it. It was like, how am I going to vote in when my school kind of forced me to change my electoral ballot? Okay, and that's the thing I have to do for one, because I didn't know when I was doing my elections for the first year, like for the governor and stuff. They said, oh, if you have to update your name and stuff like that, you have to change where you live currently. And I'm like, okay, I guess I live on campus. But then it came to me like a few months ago. It's like, wait a minute, I'm gonna be gone in like 9 months. How am I gonna update this now? I don't live on campus anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty weird.
So they kind of like,
even then, like voting in itself is so like hard sometimes.
Part of me kind of wishes there was an email link that was only for me to just go ahead and vote. So that way.
Well, that's
hackable.
Not really safe.
That's super hackable. That's the thing. It's just too hard for me to have to walk over, drive over to my city, go over, and then vote in my precinct. And even if I had to mail it in, that takes like oh god, I haven't had to send snail mail for almost a year now.
I don't know when the last time was that I've sent a like actual letter. It hasn't been years now.
It's been a while, so that's why I'm like, I don't know. It just feels like too much work. But I know it's worth it.
Yeah, vote in your local elections, people.
Do it.
They're pretty important.
We're counting on you. If you don't vote, even if it's hard, just try. Don't be like me, who's like, oh, my local elections, I forgot about it. I guess I won't vote. No, do better. You should be like...
Local elections are just as important as the presidency election, okay?
Actually, I would say more important, because if you're a presidential election, your vote doesn't matter depending on what state you live in. If your local elections matter always. So
definitely. And what's it called? Did you know that Article 13 passed by 5 votes?
Yeah,
every vote
that's
matters,
the thing.
people.
5 votes. That's it. That's all it took. Actually, 6 votes, really, if you count the decisive one, like before a deadlock.
Yeah.
But seriously, 6 votes. That's all it takes for you to win an election.
And I think my final note here will be, if you live in Europe, or if you value your freedom on the internet, then join me on the high seas, because Yarhar Fiddly Dee, being a pirate is hard for me. Do what you want, because a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
You are a pirate.
Thank you for listening to the Tangent Podcast, you Buccaneers and Buckaroos.
Yeah.
See you on the high seas, on the waves.
See you on the web.
Next time. Yeah, on the wide web of the internet.
Surfing the web. Whoa, cowabunga.
Whoa. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.